you miss Wednesday nights, the 110 Nation Sports Show. You miss Mario and myself discussing CP3, the Golden State. Check it out.
I don't think we got into. Did we get into the whole Chris Paul thing last week? I don't even know if the trade happened before the show.
No.
I don't. That seemed like we talked about Chris Paul.
We talked. Yeah. They got pulled up out of there.
Yeah. I have a buddy of mine that I work with. Well, an employee of mine. I'm not gonna say a buddy of mine. We just happen to talk sports. And honestly, he's about one of the last employees I even have left. So we talk sports. And he asked me about it. My thoughts on it. And so I'm curious to see how this is going to work. I think the biggest positive note was getting rid of the Jordan Poole contract. I think that was probably the biggest thing they were focused on, was getting rid of that ridiculous contract.
Mm-hmm.
But I am curious to see how this is going to work because, one, I don't see Chris Paul being a starter. I see, and when we talked about Chris Paul previously, that's what I said. I see Chris Paul coming off the bench. I see Chris Paul being that veteran that helps mentor somebody. But he went to a team that he doesn't need a mentor because you got Steph Curry there already to do that job. But you're Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. It's not like you got some rookie point guard or young point guard that you need a mentor without somebody there. But on top of that, the style of play. I mean, Chris Paul's most of his life has made most of his money off the pick and roll, and that's not how the Golden State Warriors play ball. And the pace, I don't know if Chris Paul's going to keep up. Seems that Golden State plays a more high-tempo kind of game. I don't know. I'm kind of curious to see, if he stays. Like, I don't know if there's a bigger picture or Golden State's working another angle or this is what they're going with. But B, how two completely different styles of play at the point guard position and how you're going to get your team to transition. Because you're going to be playing one style with Steph Curry on the court. And granted, Chris Paul's time is not going to be, I don't feel, a significant amount. I'm not going to say he's not hardly going to play, but compared to Steph Curry, no, it's not going to be a significant amount. I'm curious to see how this team will adjust, or will you have players that you'll bring in when you bring Chris Paul in to play a different style of basketball, because Steph Curry and Chris Paul play two different types of basketball. And then speaking of those two, there's been a lot of bad blood between those two. I'm curious if that's all been buried in. I know it was brought up, and I thought it was interesting. And if they would have never been pointed out, I never would have known this. But there was no welcome to the team or Chris Paul's joining us or anything, any kind of tweet, social media, anything from the Golden State Warriors. Makes me wonder how welcomed Chris Paul is to this organization.
Yeah. I think if he does stay, I think it'll definitely be a switch. But as far as the pace, I can agree with that. But Chris Paul is definitely gonna set a good offensive tempo. You know, he's gonna get Steph Curry good shots off his pick and rolls. You know what I mean, off his cutting and moving and swinging. Same thing with Klay Thompson. You know, I think last year they didn't have no clear point guard where Steph Curry had to, you know, initiate the offense, you know what I mean, when they got in tight positions or when they needed buckets. You know, they had to put the ball in Steph Curry's hands to make him make a good decision. But it keeps him off swinging and moving and coming off picks, you know, to hit the big shots or hit good three-pointers. You know, so with Chris Paul, you know, if he stays on the team, I think he definitely puts, you know, better shots, selections, in Klay Thompson's hands and Curry's hands. And I think Poole, he was a little turnover machine. You know what I mean? He was always dribbling off his foot, dribbling off, dribbling off his knee, in critical situations, and I think Chris Paul's shot selection will be a lot better than Poole's was. I think Poole was trying to figure out, am I the next Steph Curry? I think they collided a little bit, as far as their same style of play. But if he sticks around with the Warriors, I think good things could happen. But they still need big men, and they definitely need a bench. You know what I mean? So that's something that they still got to work out. They still got to work on Draymond Green. You know what I mean? So they still got some things they need to figure out. But the contract was a big thing, and I think Jordan Poole with Kerr, obviously they didn't get along. I think Poole got the big head, after the season he had before this one, and with the contract and the play style, and I think it just didn't sit right. Plus the fight, there's just bad blood on the team. I think I think the GM, it was more of the team, the coach, and the players want to get rid of Jordan Poole.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to work, cause my boss is a jerk, and I'm not even that paid. I need a change in my life, cause I don't feel